everyone, I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And welcome to the Ask Hugo 30th episode Spook-Tacular.
Ooh, we're ghosts.
Yeah, this episode's gonna be all ghost questions. This is a 30th episode. So, the last episode, I unbanned ghost questions, because if you don't know and haven't been watching this for a while, I used to get a few ghost questions every episode, and ghosts piss me off because they're stupid. I should say the concept. I don't think actual ghosts are stupid, because ghosts don't exist. I think people who think ghosts exist are stupid in that belief. So,
especially when they're atheists.
So I banned ghost and supernatural questions for a while. Last episode I unbanned them, and I noticed this is the 30th, so we're going to do all supernatural/ghost questions. Most of them are ghost questions. So let's dive right in to the herd of stupidity that is YouTube comments.
Light Yagami asks Hugo. Sort of asks Hugo. More like declares towards Hugo. I don't believe in the paranormal, but I do believe in ghosts. What we call supernatural is just what we can't explain yet, and eventually we will figure out.
Firstly, I'd like to say then, why the fuck do you believe in ghosts? Why are you presuming that you believe in it before it is figured out if you think it will be figured out? That makes no sense. Secondly, if you believe in ghosts, yes, you fucking believe in the paranormal. You just do. I don't care how often you say that. I don't care if you genuinely believe the statement you said. You're wrong. Ghosts are both supernatural and paranormal. Someone corrected me in the last episode, and I was using paranormal incorrectly. Paranormal is just things that are abnormal. So you used it incorrectly too. I'm not the only loser. Welcome to the club, dickhead.
Nate the Great as Hugo. Dear Hugo, I thought we were past the numbers as letters.
No, he's a huge Avril Lavigne fan. So
gotcha. Skater boy. Some say the reason ghosts exist is because objects like houses and intrinsic personal items can hold memories, and therefore ghosts are the objects or houses' memory of those who once lived in it or possessed it. What are your thoughts on this belief, and how stupid do you think it is? 10 stupid.
Yeah.
That is 10 units of stupid.
Some people do say that, and some people are idiots. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. There's literally nothing backing that up. This is the kind of thing that happens when you already have a belief, whether it be religion or, in this case, ghosts. Like, you've already dug yourself in. Ghosts are real, but you have no explanation. So when someone asks, like, how do you explain that? You come up with some bullshit Deepak Chopra sounds like it's a thing. Like, something. Like, sure, does that sort of have an internal logic? Like, houses have memories, and the ghosts are their memories. Houses. Okay, how about this? Let me even dial this back a little bit further. So where are, like, the memories of all the birds and stuff from when the house was made of trees? Does it not remember being a tree? When we cut it up and turned it into a house? Did it forget that? What about when it was a seed? What about when the seed was a bunch of other things that came together and became a seed after the previous tree took in nutrients and sunlight and made it via photosynthesis? Fuck you! Ghosts aren't real!
Do you think my wank sock remembers all the times I've come into it?
Oh, I'd like to think so, because that gets me off.
The wank sock?
Yeah.
What do you... Never mind.
I just like to think that your sock is, like, real sad. It's like in the Flintstones when they'd be like, oh, it's a living, and it was like, a garbage disposal pig, but the sock is like, oh, kill me, please. My life is just cum and Jake's dick. That's definitely going on. There's a Twitter account called, like, @BibleRequoted. Yeah. Guarantee my whole life is cum and Jake's dick is going on there. If I don't see it, I'm so fucking disappointed in you.
Insulin Shocker asks Hugo, how do you feel about these Christians that believe in ghosts since their religion... That's the wrong there. THEIR. You're welcome. Religion stated that you either go to heaven or hell when you die.
In fairness, the Bible does have ghosts in it in the Old Testament because the whole heaven and hell thing wasn't established until, like, the New Testament. So, yeah, it's still stupid. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily any more inconsistent than the Bible is. But yeah,
There's
still
a Samuel
stupid.
Ghost.
Yeah, No, was it Saul? No, it was Saul. No, it was Samuel. You're right, it's Samuel. Saul brought up the ghost of Samuel, and it's like, hey, why is God mad? And he's like, 'cause you called me up with a medium, you dick. Yeah, the Bible's weird.
Jesse Jones asks Hugo, Hugo! I assume this is in reply to one of your ghost answers. Jesse Jones asks Hugo, Hugo, then explain the common experiences of DMT users. How are separate people having identical reactions to a hallucinogenic substance? I would say DMT is a physical chemical causing a supernatural experience, and that experience is objectively similar across a broad sampling of people. P.S. I know your answer will be subjective, so unless it conforms with my inferred opinion, fuck it preemptively.
I
appreciate that.
I know. Okay. If I say to you, hey, when I drink alcohol, I have a certain effect, and you say, wow, that same thing happens to me, it's not supernatural, it's because, by and large, our anatomies and our brains function very similarly, unless you are, have some sort of mental illness. Our brains functions relatively the same way. So chemicals interact with our brains very similarly. So DMT, however it functions, I'm not a fucking chemist. I'm not like a DMT user. However it functions, it creates similar experiences because the same chemical reactions that are causing you to hallucinate in your brain are happening in other people's brains. There are plenty of other drugs like LSD that have different types of hallucinations, but for some reason DMT happens to create very similar hallucinations. I don't know why. I don't care why. It's not fucking supernatural. Like, what? Also, you use the word physical chemical as opposed to what? Like, what do you mean a physical chemical? This is ridiculous. I'm disappointed in all of you.
I know at least 6 or 7 people I know of at least 6 or 7 people that I have encountered over time that when they take acid, they have thought to themselves, I am a glass of orange juice. Please don't tip me over and spill me because then I'll die. Are all ghosts orange juice?
I would argue, are all orange juices ghosts?
I'm just saying that experience is objectively similar across a broad sampling of people, so...
When I smoke weed, I get real hungry for pizza. French bread pizza specifically. I bet I'm not the only one. Is that supernatural?
Are ghosts French bread pizzas? I think ghosts are French bread pizzas.
Yeah, probably.
I like the veggie ones. Salon Throwaway, or Solon Throwaway, asks Hugo, are you willing to admit the possibility that there are some aspects of the natural world which humans will ever be able to reliably observe, either directly or indirectly? Obviously, right?
Yeah, totally. I don't think humans, even if we lived like another billion years, there are tons of things we probably still wouldn't understand. But that doesn't make ghosts any more real. This is the kind of argument that I've heard from people who actually do believe in ghosts too, and you could use this argument for anything though. I could be using it for leprechauns or unicorns. Like, yes, there are things we don't understand. That doesn't mean the particular thing you believe in for no reason has any more merit just because I accept I don't know everything.
Yeah, this is a very Cy 10 Bruggencate or Eric Hovind sort of tactic.
It's that thing where they take the circle and put a dot in the middle, and they're like, the dot is human knowledge, and the circle is all potential knowledge. Like, yeah, I'm aware we're not omnipotent. That doesn't mean God or ghosts are hiding in the areas where we don't know they exist. And hey, even if they did, we don't get to assume it just because there's the possibility that they exist. You still need evidence to support the belief.
Tensai55, question for Hugo. Do you think it is possible to have a contradiction of knowledge and belief? For example, I know there is no evidence for ghosts, spirits, etc. As you stated, the concept of the supernatural doesn't make any logical sense. However, despite my knowing this, I'm still terrified of ghosts and find myself believing in them anyway, at least late at night, no matter how many times I remind myself of all things you pointed out. Personally, I think this goes back to humans being superstitious by nature, but I'd like to hear your take on it.
Now, I obviously can't have you clarify this in the moment, but it sounds like you don't necessarily believe at ghosts at night as much as you're just afraid of them. I think you can have conflicting feelings in your head and arguments basically between your logical side and your intrinsic sort of gut reaction. Like, you can be afraid at night of the dark without necessarily believing, Oh, that's ghosts. Are you saying you just get nervous at night and, like, your brain goes to that? Sure, that's fine. I don't think that necessarily means you believe in ghosts as much as you are just aware of scary stories. I mean, I don't know. But if you're legitimately telling me, like, you think, man, I know ghosts aren't real, but I sure do believe ghosts are real, that's odd. But
No, I think it's a fear of something that you logically know is not existent. Like, I know a lot of people that are afraid of like stereotypical gray big-eyed aliens.
Sure. Okay.
Like, deathly afraid. Totally not superstitious in any way, atheists and very logical and smart, but it just happens.
Yeah.
Even though granted aliens are statistically far more viable than the idea of a ghost, based upon what people attribute towards being a ghost. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those things, like your imagination gets a hold of you. Like, I think like, you're afraid of like flying and falling out of the sky, which is granted again statistically more likely than a ghost existing. However, it happens so rarely that there's really no point.
Yep. It's basically,
So
you can try and logically talk yourself out of an emotion all you want. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the case. I don't know.
Right, so I get that. But if you're basing... Now, this person doesn't seem like that, but a lot of other people are like, I've just seen shit, man. That's your emotion taking the logic portion of your interior argument out of the equation and just being like, yeah, ghosts exist, and they're still bullshit. Soul Render 95 asks Hugo, I love ghost shows. They are fucking hilarious. Watching people freaking themselves out and pretending to do, air quotes, science. Best comedy on TV right now that isn't Rick and Morty.
I just wanted to talk about ghost shows a little bit in general because even people who believe in ghosts, like, legitimately are all in. They think ghosts totally exist. They even must know this is bullshit, right? Like, if I believed in ghosts, I'd be like, wow, these guys are really taking advantage of people who know ghosts exist by having these fake ghost shows. Like, it's not even close to looking real. They get scared of every noise, half of which they're probably making themselves. The other half is probably because they're in an old prison or hotel, which makes noise at night. It's just stupid. There are a lot of people who make me mad on TV. Long Island Medium is one of them.
Ugh.
Or anyone like that. Ghost Hunters are the other ones, because they know. They're doing it themselves. There's not a single ghost hunter on TV who thinks, oh yeah, I'm doing cutting-edge paranormal research. They know they're a TV character, they know it's reality TV, and they're taking advantage of people who are too stupid to realize ghosts don't exist.
At least they're not going to, like, children and being like, oh yeah, your dad still loves you. He saw you graduate from kindergarten.
Yeah.
Like, no, he didn't. He's dead. Quit harming this child. Mark Stevens asked Hugo, hey, Hugo, if ghosts were real and you had to fuck one whose ghost... Wow. Hey, Hugo, if ghosts were real and you had to fuck one, whose ghost would you bang out? And also, where would you finish? Provided the ghost has no preference, I guess. Wow, at least you're asking ghost consent in that situation.
Sally Hemings, because
Ooh.
I don't think she's had it bad enough yet. And also, I like presidential sloppy seconds. And I'll come wherever I want because she died a slave. I think that still stands in the afterlife.
Do I get a vote? Do I get a ghost vote?
Sure, go ahead.
Mufasa. Right in the main. Josh Gulick. Maybe we only see human ghosts because we are human, you know? Oh, and dinosaurs only see dino ghosts, not human ghosts. It's probably something to do with some kind of shared neuronal resonance across hollow-dimensional space. This person's being funny, right?
I assume
this person's
being
definitely
funny.
being funny.
Yeah.
But assume they're 100% serious.
If they were being 100% serious, I would just hug this person and say, I'm sorry for all the hardships you're going to have in your life, because it's not going to be easy for you. This is not going to be an easy ride.
I'd like to explore this because some people probably do think that we only see human ghosts, although some people think we see cat ghosts and shit like that too, because they have the memories of their owners imprinted on whatever. There's also a fucking litter box with all the food that the human person gave to them. Just piles and piles of ghost cat shit.
Wouldn't cows be scared at slaughterhouses like constantly because they're seeing all the cow ghosts?
Right?
All of those deaths are super violent and traumatic.
And also, like, dinosaurs are, like, not all one thing. Like, it's not just it's not like billions of T-Rexes.
Excuse me, have you seen We're Back, a Dinosaur Story starring John Goodman? They're basically all the same thing.
Oh, that's not a good thing. Wasn't that boy in that? What was his name? I don't remember, but he always reminds me for some reason of the boy in Kazam. I have no idea why. Maybe because they came out right around the same time. But do you know what I'm talking about? They dress similar.
I know both of who you're talking about. Well, that's just because they were made around the same time. That was the
maybe
style.
That's it. I have no idea. Anyway, Josh Gulick, fuck you. Steve Zembadowski. Now that the ban is over, how do you feel about the Bill Cosby movie Ghost Dad?
This is my favorite question anyone's ever asked me.
Steve Zembadowski.
Ghost Dad. Now, Bill Cosby rape aside for now, obviously. I'm obviously going to touch on it. But aside for right now, Ghost Dad is a terrible movie. Yeah. And I feel insulted every time I watch it.
It's really bad.
That movie is legitimately terrible. Bill Cosby should have stopped trying to be in movies. He made a couple movies. None of them were funny. Okay, so he dies. He's a ghost. There are rules to being a ghost, but they're all incredibly inconsistent. He can't be seen in the light, except for all the scenes where he is definitely in light.
How would you see him if he wasn't in light? That's how light works.
Also, he has to like concentrate really hard or else people can't hear him, but it's only a struggle for one gag in the first little bit of the movie. And then at the end of the movie, it turns out he's not dead. His spirit escaped from his body. So the title's a lie. It's not Ghost Dad. It's Astral Projection Dad.
Oh, what's the best ghost movie of all time?
What's the best ghost movie? Like horror or in general?
Just ghost movie.
Movies question.
With ghosts at the center. Or near the center. Because there's an obvious answer that you're not getting.
Are you going to say Patrick Swayze's Ghost? Because I haven't seen that movie.
Of course not. It's The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox before the shakiness happened.
I haven't seen that movie either. So
what? You haven't seen The Frighteners?
No.
It's he's kind of edgy.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox. He's not as lovable.
Oh,
I think he's kind of a douchebag at the beginning.
Poltergeist is mine.
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
I like Ghostbusters too as well, but that doesn't count. The new one though, not the one with those men.
Oh. Yeah, that's what I want the comments to be in this episode for sure.
Savvy M. So here's a question that is laterally about the supernatural and sort of tangentially about ghosts. If a species evolved in a higher dimension, e.g. 5th or 6th dimension, because those are things, then would you consider them to be supernatural in that they are in a dimension that is higher numerically than our own? Numerically higher. I know you're serious, I'm sorry. Also related question, if we found a species living in a 2D plane, would we be supernatural to them since we walk through their dimension and then fade out as our 3D bodies don't intersect with their 2D world 100% of the way? This is silly. I hear this kind of stuff sometimes, and all I ever think is Slaughterhouse 5 with the Tralfamagorians. I believe that's what they're called.
Okay, first of all, I'm aware that I guess some theories say that there are like 11 dimensions of space, which I'm not going to say there isn't. I don't know. That's fine.
Well, the 4th dimension is what? Time? And
that's
then after
colloquially...
But that doesn't mean that you can exist in that space.
This person clearly read Flatland recently and think they're super cool for talking about this. None of what you said meant anything. This is gobbledygook. Even if somehow something could exist in other dimensional spaces, like I'm talking about have more than 3.
Right, but we're also talking sapient individuals. Right?
Sure.
Like they can't just be like ether floating through, like it can't be a force.
As far as I know, from the last time I watched the Science Channel, they were talking about the 11 dimensions of space. Like all of the dimensions higher than the third one are on like a subatomic weird quantum bullshit I don't understand
and
level.
things could
I don't know.
exist down there, that's fine, but we wouldn't be able to see them, especially not in the size that ghosts are considered, right?
Yeah, I don't. This has nothing to do with ghosts. Why did I pick this question? I'm garbage.
Peter Belleur. Hugo, which Belleur should be your last name. Hugo Belleur. You sound like a French sandwich. Hugo, so entertain a scenario for me. Let's venture into the great world of imagination and assume that this question will be over soon. That in this hypothetical scenario, you'd see a ghost! Imagine that. Now would you be like, hey, get out of here, ghosts, you're not real, you stupid? Or would you be a believer? That is my question. I hate this person.
I don't know if I'd. Okay, this presumes a lot of things. For one thing, the question assumes it is a ghost, for sure. So, if it is definitely a ghost in this hypothetical scenario.
How do you know it's a ghost, though? Does it have like a Walmart name tag that says, I'm definitely a ghost, don't check it?
That's what I'm saying. If I'd like to think I would, in a scenario where I was faced with something that could potentially someone could describe as a ghost, I would investigate it further and not run away like the Ghostbusters in that scene in the library. But if I just saw something that would fit typical ghost sighting scenarios and I didn't get to investigate it further, I would assume it wasn't a ghost. I wouldn't assume it was a ghost because I don't have anything to go on. Nothing about it I'd be like, oh, maybe I saw something wrong. Maybe it was too dark. Maybe I hallucinated something for some reason. I certainly wouldn't jump to ghost right away. Because if I saw something like that, in my head, this is how I'm thinking about it. If I saw something like that, it would tell me that if this was real, this would be a phenomena that a ton of other people would be able to document, not just see it, if that makes sense.
So you would assume, first off, that like your gut instinct would be that maybe you are mistaken in whatever you're viewing.
Sure. I'd be spooked. Right. I might be like, oh god, what the fuck was that? But like, afterwards, I'd definitely be like, oh, that probably wasn't that.
So is there, 8 billion people? Is there 9 yet?
It's like
there's
7.5.
There's too many billions of people. None of them have ever seen this. Not one of them. The ones that claim they have can't prove it to anybody.
Yep.
Like I have a camera on my phone. You'd think that like people would take like selfies or home videos and suddenly they get photobombed by fucking Uncle Gary's ghost.
Have you noticed that since cameras have gotten better and everyone has an HD camera, there's fewer ghost photography things? Remember in the 80s and 90s there was a lot of that spirit photography, like, oh, look at this thing that looks like an orb or whatever.
And also with Photoshop and with video edit, I could make a ghost picture today in my free time. Like, it wouldn't take any effort. So you really gotta be able to test it. You gotta be able to do something. And frankly, this is a garbage question. AKL 561, Dead Hugo. Dead Hugo. It's a ghost joke. If you were to die, become a ghost, and be wearing the same clothes for eternity, what clothes would you wear? How do you think ghost money would work? Would you forever have the amount of money you died with, no matter how much you spent? That would suck, because I don't usually carry cash.
If I were to die and become a ghost, what would I want to wear? Probably some sort of... It would be a t-shirt with some sort of logo. I'm going to go Power Rangers shirt.
I'd happily be naked forever.
No one wants to see that. I definitely don't want to see that.
I don't care what you want to see. I'm a ghost. I don't give a fuck. I'll fucking rape you.
Jeans because I'm uncomfortable wearing shorts, and Chuck Taylors. And that's it. Oh, and the money thing, I don't think you thought that one out, because if everyone had as much money they had on them, and it was the same no matter how much they spent in ghost money, then if anyone even had $1, then everyone always has infinite money as a ghost. You just collapsed the ghost economy. Good job, dick.
I always think the idea of ghosts wearing clothes is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any goddamn sense whatsoever.
Well, you see, Jake, it's when you die, you have a self-image. It's the residual psychic self-image.
Oh, well, then I'm definitely naked, but I have a horse cock.
All right, this one's cheating a little bit. This one wasn't directly involved in ghosts, but I really wanted to answer this one. So, in this, people die, so let's assume they become ghosts.
Morgan Dignowity, dearest Hugo, What is your solution to the trolley problem? Thanks. If you don't know what the trolley problem is, it's that thing where there's one person on the left and like 5 people on the right, and you gotta flip a switch. And if you flip the switch, it'll only kill one person when the trolley is rolling down the tracks. And then if you don't flip it, it'll kill 5 people.
Yeah. It's basically a thought experiment that's just supposed to illustrate, is action versus inaction more morally acceptable in a situation like this? Is inaction but that kills more people, or an action that kills one person, more permissible? Anyway, my solution is I would always, every single time, flip the switch and kill the one person to save the 5. Because, again, philosophically speaking, I think that inaction, when you have the potential to do an action, is in and of itself an action, if that makes sense. Because you had the potential to flip the switch and you did not, you made a conscious decision to do that, or not do it. It's still a decision you made. So, I think by your inaction, you do kill the 5 people. So I'd rather kill one person than kill 5 people.
This is the Batman problem. It's like the Joker has 2 people, and one of them's Robin, and the other one's Damsel in Distress, Volume Egg. And he drops them both off a cliff, and Batman has to try to save one or both. It's the same thing, except you're not Batman, so you only get to choose one.
Also,
because Batman always chooses both.
That's the one with Tommy Lee Jones, so I don't think it's philosophically
That's a movie,
applicable.
but I mean he does that all the time, that sort of situation, or superheroes in general. I agree with you. Sometimes they change the parameters of it, where it's like 1 rapist or 5, or 5 rapists and 1 child. Like, is the value of life?
Yeah.
Is it per person, or is it the value of the person with the life? And that's interesting stuff.
Yeah. And that one, I'd glad to let the rapist die, which isn't necessarily. I would like to say I'm not for the death penalty or anything, but again, it's a test of morality.
It's not really a death penalty thing. It's more like an oddly specific.
No, I know.
Serial killer is putting you in a situation.
Yeah.
But
I'd let the rapist die. Which, again, I'm not saying rapists deserve to die, though they do deserve to go to prison. I'm just saying I would value the life of the child over them. But that's just my subjective morality.
We did a few in my colloquy class
Yeah.
Years ago, and one of them, most of them were just like 1-to-1s.
Yeah.
And so it was like 1 fat person, 1 skinny person, 1 black person, 1 white person, and so it got all sorts of fucked up. But that was cool. But yeah, ghosts. Ghost Sniper says, I hypothesize that ghosts are electromagnetic phenomena or hallucinations induced by electromagnetic fields. Wow.
I like this one. This is my favorite one, and this is why I chose to do it last, because this epitomizes the issue when you're talking about ghosts or the paranormal or supernatural, whatever. Anyone can spout any bullshit, and because there's no evidence or understanding of anything we're talking about, because it's fictional, you can say whatever shit falls out of your mouth, and it sounds like it means something. What you typed here, if you hit enter with nothing there, you would have said just as much about ghosts as you said in this sentence. You remember from science class that electromagnetic fields are a thing, and it's a force in the universe. Even though you probably don't know that much about it, nor do I, but I'm also not claiming that it has something to do with ghosts. And you just said you think that has something to do with that. Nothing to back it up. I doubt you did any experiments on any brains of people who have had ghost sightings, or... And again, I think you're saying that you don't think ghosts are real, you just think it's people reacting to electromagnetic fields. But that's not better than saying ghosts exist, because what you just said has nothing to back it up. It's not like you didn't go into the field and be like, are there electromagnetic fields here? No, you're like, this sounds science-y. I'll type this into YouTube.
You know what I think ghosts are? I think ghosts are our projection of people that we've lost onto the reflections that neutrinos cast when hit in the proper photonic beams.
I think you didn't take string theory and... E equals MC squared, expansion of the universe, Isaac Newton,
right.
Pluto. Sometimes.
Right, and I didn't check the dew point or the carrying capacity of your average sized Kmart.
Thanks for the questions, everyone. I love you. You're all garbage, but I love you all.
All right, can we reban ghosts?
No.
The next Ask Hugo. The only questions I want are to be Hot Pocket related.
We're not gonna do Hot Pocket episode.
Hot Pocket episode or else.
No, but ghosts
you
are
guys-
not banned. But I'm probably not gonna do them for a while because we just did.
Ghosts
a
are
ton of them.
banned. Hot Pockets only.
No, this isn't your show. Ban ghosts on your show and only allow Hot Pockets on Jake Reed's.
Hot Pockets banned on my show. Ghosts only on Hugo's, except they're banned too. Hot Pockets only here.
So thanks, everyone. You can always ask me more questions in the comments. Please do so. I'm probably going to get some from the last Ask Hugo also next time because there were some good ones, but they didn't involve ghosts, so I couldn't use them for this one. So if you wanted to repeat your question, go ahead here, or I'll get it from last time. Whatever! You can always follow us on Twitter at Bible Reloaded.
You can follow Hugo at Hugo Reloaded, and you can also subscribe to the channel and get more of these things, like ghost questions and also Hot Pocket related talk. Does that sound good? Did I entice you?
I'm not enticed. You can always donate to our Patreon campaign. We do a once-a-month patron-only hangout, and that's real spooky! So, until next time, I'm Hugh. No wait, I missed a golden opportunity. I'm Boogo. Huh?
No.
Eh?
No. And I'm a ham and cheese hot pocket. But no, a lean pocket, ham and cheddar, deli style, thin sliced ham. Only like 280 calories.
And this has been the Ask You a 30th episode Spooktacular. The next 30 will be better than this, I promise.